Now everyone, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Today we will be witnessing possibly the greatest Gundam fight match in all of history. A match that pits every Gundam against one another in a brutal fight that ends with only one winner. The Gundam that outlasts all the others will be the first to receive the greatest of honors, the Golden Gundam. Which one of these marvelous machines will take home the inaugural award of awards? Let's find out. Top 10 Gundams from Mobile Fighter G Gundam. Ready? Go! So let's get this started. Yo, what's up? It's your boy William, here to hand out the very first Golden Gundam Award. To kick things off, allow me to explain the rules. Only Gundams that appear within the anime are eligible to enter. Each Gundam will be evaluated on its abilities, its technical specifications, its equipment, its utilization, and, of course, its cool factor. The top 10 Gundams will receive a place in the rankings, and the top 3 will be granted a special honor, but only the winner will be bestowed with the award of awards, the Golden Gundam. With that behind us, let me first say that there are probably more Gundams in G Gundam than any other Gundam series. The anime revolves around what's known as a Gundam fight tournament. Long story short, everyone decided to bail on Earth and have now moved to colonies that orbit the planet. Instead of warring with each other for control, each country builds a Gundam and enters it into the Gundam fight every 4 years, where the winner receives control of the government until the next Gundam fight. Naturally, the ideas for Gundams here revolve heavily around each country's culture, and the design team was able to produce a rather diverse set of suits for this Gundam series, ranging from horrifying to unintentionally hilarious. One thing that every Gundam has that is unique to this series is what's known as the Mobile Trace System, which is more or less a suit that is forcibly created for the pilot that then allows them to have the Gundam mimic their body movement. Pretty badass, but looks pretty painful too, and it's shown in the anime that it is no walk in the park to use, but as you will see, it leads to some really cool tech, and considering the large amount of Gundams to choose from in this anime, there are some that I really wanted to include but just could not. Either way, there were many qualified entrants, but only the following 10 will receive the honor of making this list. Number 10, GF13-030NIN Cobra Gundam. Starting things off, we have the GF13030NIN Cobra Gundam. This is one of the most interesting machines in the entire anime. Hailing from Neo, India, it stands 18.8 meters tall and 7.9 meters wide while weighing in at 23.5 metric tons with its full complement. It wields a flamethrower and a peepo sword, but the most fascinating aspect of this mobile suit is the fact that its pilot rides a gigantic snake, and Neo India found a way to build the Serpent, its own machine that combines with the Cobra Gundam to make it a legitimate fucking robot Cobra. In the anime, this was used to great effect by the pilot, Chandrasejima, who would constrict enemies and use the snake's mobility to his advantage. As if that wasn't enough, this thing gets its own damn pot. Yes, you heard me right. And yes, the Cobra Gundam can hide in it and even make use of some extra offensive capabilities. All in all, this mech is pretty cool, and I think it was inventive and hilariously excessive, which if you've seen G Gundam, you know this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. The design team, like I said in the intro, they took their liberties, and hilariously so, and this is one such great example. And they took it to the next level by making it happen on the Gundam level too. So, you know, big round of applause. Number 9, GF13-041NSI Ashura Gundam. As if the last entry wasn't creative enough, G Gundam decided to raise the bar once again with the GF13-04NSI Ashura Gundam. Fighting out of Neo, Singapore, it stands 16.4 meters tall while weighing in at 16.2 metric tons with its full complement. As you can see here, the unique thing about this Gundam is the fact that it has 6 arms, 4 chest-mounted missiles, and can detach its arms and split its head, torso, and legs into 3 individual entities, or just recombine and enter into top mode. And while the Ashura Gundam is in top mode, it can unleash its ultimate attack, which makes use of fucking lightning tornadoes to make its opponent unresponsive. Beyond its abilities, the manner in which it was used by its pilot brought glory to this machine. Despite losing to the very skilled pairing of Domon and Allenby, Russets de Gotz proved his honor by returning to defend the Earth as a member of the Gundam Federation. Truly a fearsome and flexible mech, but most importantly, it is a worthy member of this list. And beyond any concept of honor or whatever, it doesn't hurt your cause to be able to transform into like 16 different things. Number 8, GF11-033NNP Tantra Gundam. Taking a step back in creativity, but a big step forward in culture, we have the only member of the 11th Gundam fight on this list, the GF11-033NNP Tantra Gundam. Produced by Neo Nepal, this machine stands, well, we don't know, because apparently it has never been officially revealed. But, you know, mystery can be a pretty sexy thing, so we won't hold that against this mech. What we do know, however, is that it's armed with 2 arm-mounted claws, and we are made well aware that they made the Tantra Gundam a fearsome opponent. And while it may not have a lot of fancy extra functions or some crazy-ass large animal to go with it, the Tantra Gundam is easily one of the most powerful, accomplished, and culturally accurate suits in the entire anime. Based on research and an admittedly limited knowledge of Nepalese culture, it seems like the designs here incorporate a lot of the traditional Nepalese vestments and headwear. Beyond the aesthetics, this machine was an unheralded badass that fought its way through to the finals in the 11th Gundam fight, thanks in large part to its pilot, who lost on really some unlucky bullshit and lost his eyesight in the process. It really makes one wonder what might have been if this Gundam was not defeated by Gentle Chapman. Number 7, GF13-011NC Dragon Gundam. Kicking off the top 7 in Shaolin style, we have Neo China's clever and capable GF13-011NC Dragon Gundam. This machine's rank signifies just how elite the top 7 is in this top 10 class, and you're about to find out why. Designed with the wisdom of several millennia worth of martial arts traditions and custom built for Neo China's most skilled martial artist, this suit stands 16.4 meters tall while weighing in at 17 metric tons. It features several cleverly integrated fixed armaments and makes use of various powerful fighting techniques, including too many things to list here. In addition to the moves it used and all of the techniques and style and all the flair, the Dragon Gundam's pilot Saisaishi, who was the youngest Gundam fighter ever, by the way, was able to combine his powers with the other members of the Shuffle Alliance to create combination attacks and achieve hyper modes, so no matter how you slice it, this machine is incredible and does a fantastic job of being cool as fuck and paying homage to the country's rich martial arts history and culture. Number 6, JMF-1336R Rising Gundam. Ascending its way to the number 6 spot is Neo Japan's JMF-1336R Rising Gundam. Being a bit of a special case, this Gundam was developed alongside the Shining and God Gundams by Neo Japan, but was ultimately not chosen to represent the country in the Gundam fight. Instead, it was redesigned for war with the intended purpose of having Ulube Ishikawa track down and destroy the Devil Gundam. Standing at 16.2 meters tall and weighing in at 15.3 metric tons with its full complement, Neo Japan's third best option is powerful enough to be any other country's first option, thanks in large part to its superior armaments. Just like its sister Gundams, the JMF-1336R has 2 small caliber Vulcan cannons mounted on its head and 2 torso-mounted machine cannons, but that's where the similarities end and the cool shit begins. Starting with the most obvious weapon, this mech has a giant Naginata with a superheated blade that functions as a fantastic close to mid-range weapon and as a defensive shield if the Gundam starts spinning in a circle. Moving on, we have a much less obvious but much more awesome beam bow that is mounted on the left arm and used only for the Rising Gundam's ultimate attack. While not in use, the bow functions as a buckler and a docking station for what is probably the most inventive piece of equipment this Gundam has, the Rising Shield. When the Rising Gundam releases its shoulder plates and combines them, the Rising Shield is formed and it enters into mobility mode, making it harder to hit, but also making it impossible to use its beam bow. Even with all of this cool tech, the Rising Gundam did not get a lot of screen time, and even then it was not able to survive in that short period of time. And this is largely due to Rain being its pilot, as she was one, inexperienced and physically ill-equipped to handle something that was meant for Ulube Ishikawa, who was a fucking trained soldier and war hero. So all in all, this Gundam kicks an exorbitant amount of ass, and it does so in a short amount of time, and you gotta respect that kind of efficiency. Number 5, GF13-002 NGR Zeus Gundam. Like a lightning bolt from the heavens, we have Neo Grease's entry into the 13th Gundam fight, the godlike GF13-002 NGR Zeus Gundam, made with mythological might in mind for a massive man named after a titan. Standing tall at 17.5 meters and weighing a hefty 22.5 metric tons with its full complement, this mecha is physically imposing and wields a fearsome amount of power, all while being able to sustain flight indefinitely. Beginning with its armaments, we have the awesomely named Zeus Calibur, which is essentially a Gundam-sized longsword that was inspired by the Excalibur. And then the Mjolnir-inspired Lightning Hammer that is used for its ultimate attack. This suit also makes use of a special horse-drawn chariot to ride around and inflict destruction. While all of these weapons, mythological and real-life counterparts, do not originate from Greek mythology, the Gundam certainly resembles Zeus as he is often depicted, and its ultimate attack, the Lightning of Judgment, certainly hammers that resemblance home. Despite playing the role of adversary and then villain, this particular machine was used honorably on the field of battle and met with a warrior's death even after it was taken over by certain other things. All in all, this Gundam and its pilot were ultimately true warriors who met with an honorable end, which makes this already powerful and culturally accurate machine even more impressive. Also, big bonus points for not trying to follow Greek mythology too closely by having the Zeus Gundam trying to have sex with everything. Number 4, GF13-017 NJ2 God Gundam. Keeping with the godlike theme, both the GF13017 NJ2 God Gundam's hands glow with an awesome power, and their loud roar tells me to defeat all but 3 on this list. Good enough to be number 1 in any ranking, Neo Japan's second entry into the 13th Gundam fight is truly worthy of honor, and you're about to find out why. Standing at 16.6 meters tall and weighing in at 20.6 metric tons with its full complement, the titular mobile suit of the series is understandably powerful as fuck and literally peerless by the end of the anime. Much like the Dragon Gundam, this machine makes use of hyper mode and features a great deal of fighting techniques thanks to an excellent pilot who has relatively few armaments at his disposal. Being a sister mobile suit of the JMF 1336-R Rising Gundam and an improved version of the GF13-017 NJ Shining Gundam, it is equipped with 2 head-mounted Vulcan cannons, 2 torso-mounted machine cannons, and 2 beam swords stored in its side armor. But it sets itself apart with its Godfinger Protector Gauntlets, which are mainly intended to reinforce the structural integrity of each hand while increasing the output, but can also be used to gouge out some eyes if necessary. With all of that behind us, we can take a look at the accomplishments of this suit and comfortably say that this was arguably the most powerful machine, was piloted by arguably the best pilot in the series, and it beat everyone it faced with only a few exceptions. But it still wasn't good enough to make the top 3. So before we reveal the winners, let's do a quick recap. Number 10, GF13-030 NIN Cobra Gundam. Number 9, GF13-041 NSI Ashura Gundam. Number 8, GF11-033 NNP Tantra Gundam. Number 7, GF13-011NC Dragon Gundam. Number 6, JMF-1336R Rising Gundam. Number 5, JF13-002NGR Zeus Gundam. And number 4, GF13-017NJ2 God Gundam. Now we move on to the top 3, a group of machines that are so elite they will receive a special distinction. But only the top mobile fighter will receive the Golden Gundam. Number 3, GF13-021NG Gundam Spiegel. Stepping out from the shadows, we have the winner of the Bronze Gundam, Neo Germany's GF13-021NG Gundam Spiegel. Standing in at 16.3 meters tall and weighing in at 16.2 metric tons with its full complement, this mecha is ridiculously powerful and damn near invincible in the hands of its intended pilot, Schwartz Bruder. Considering that this mobile suit was built to maximize the Germanic ninjutsu skills of its operator, its armaments reflect that by being relatively fewer in number and flashiness. Beginning with the elephant in the room, this mech is armed with 2 Spiegel blades that are attached to each arm, which can be pivoted forward, creating a bladed tonfa-like weapon that is well suited to the fast-paced combat style of its pilot. Keeping with the ninja theme, this suit is equipped with many mesagrons, or knife edge, that function as a kunai-style throwing weapon. Moving on to the most subtle weapon, we come to the iron nets that are apparently housed under each wrist, just like Spider-Man. The armaments are honestly very much secondary and are meant to enhance this mecha's best weapon, which is its astounding ability to move like a ninja and make use of some of that badass German ninjutsu that we're always hearing so much about in real life. Right off the bat, it is made obvious that this mobile suit can turn itself invisible at will and remain invisible indefinitely, even while moving at its usual high rate of speed. Adding to its Yautja-like stealth, it is able to project multiple images of itself, and, as if that wasn't enough, it can even perform the substitution technique, and as anyone familiar with Naruto can tell you, it is a body replacement move, where the user replaces their body with a Twinkie or some other object just before the moment of impact. Finally, we have the Gundam Spiegel's ultimate attack, Sturm and Strang, or Storm and Stress, which consists of the mecha placing the Spiegel blades in a specific position and then rotating around, basically resulting in a Gundam-sized spinning top of death. In summation, this mecha is incredible and makes the absolute most out of all of the awesome technology and techniques that it has at its disposal. Never heard of Germanic ninjutsu before, but I'm not sure if it's real, and I really don't give a shit. Either way, it's a cool concept to go with, and it really adds to the flavor and the badassness that this mecha has. Number 2, JDG-00X Devil Gundam. Blurring the lines between machine and horrifying self-replicating organism of doom is the winner of the Silver Gundam, the JDG-00X Devil Gundam. Born from the ashes of the well-intentioned Ultimate Gundam project, this terrifying experiment gone horribly wrong takes on many forms during the anime, but for the purposes of this, we will be looking mostly at the core Devil Gundam, which is the control unit for the much larger final form. This core unit towers over the rest at 23.9 meters tall and outweighs battleships at 84.9 metric tons with its full complement. Being developed by a lot of the same people, it shares some things with the Shining God and Rising Gundam, in that it has a very similar chest design and it houses those oh-so-familiar Vulcan guns in its head. This mecha also houses a host of beam cannons mounted all over its body, and while it is unknown exactly how many it has, it is known from many sources that there are a lot of them. Moving on to the main event, we come to the Devil Gundam's features and special equipment. First of all, the Ultimate Gundam was intended to restore Earth to its former glory from the depleted and barren condition that it had been in for years. It aimed to accomplish this by using DG cells, which are a highly complex mechanical cell that mimics a genetic cell, thus enabling three special abilities: self-evolution, self-replication, and self-regeneration. Something unintended happened when a certain group tried to take control of it, thus forcing someone to take it to Earth. The process of atmospheric re-entry caused an error in the Gundam's programming that caused it to become sentient, and then determined that destroying humanity was in fact the only way to restore Earth, thus creating the Devil Gundam. So, let's take stock here. We have a gigantic, self-evolving, self-replicating, self-regenerating, sentient robot that is convinced that all humans must die. Sounds like a great candidate for Chibi Gundam stuff, right? Ugh. In the interest of not spoiling anything major, we'll stop right here and say that the Devil Gundam takes on a myriad of forms and recruits armies of followers, all while remaining a thorn in the side of Domon and his friends and a grave threat to humanity. This mecha is truly one of the most powerful and frightening things to come from any Gundam anime series. So you may be wondering, what could have possibly beaten this? You about to find out. Number 1, GF13-001 NH2 Master Gundam. If you look at the top spot, you'll see that the East is burning red. That's right. The winner of the very first Golden Gundam is Neo Hong Kong's GF13-001 NH2 Master Gundam. Standing with arms crossed at 16.7 meters and weighing in at 16.4 metric tons with its full complement, this marvelous machine is truly the most powerful and badass looking robot in the entire anime. The Master Gundam was created when the GF13-001 NH HAO Gundam was exposed to DG cells, and as such, the Master Gundam retains the HAO Gundam's ridiculously high performance, its high synchronization level with its pilot, and the beam generators in each of its hands that recreate Master Asia's cloth. This suit takes things quite a few steps forward from its predecessor in other areas, chiefly in the performance and design departments. This suit is considerably faster than any other mech in the series, with the Gundam Spiegel being a somewhat close second. But beyond that, its fingers have been altered to become talon-like, and large spikes were added to the tops of its feet to enhance its already formidable unarmed fighting style. It also features large wing binders that house the majority of its propulsion system and can open up and surround the mecha, making it look like it's wearing a robe while shielding it from attacks. Moving on to its armaments, you will see a similar theme. All of this mecha's weaponry is integrated into the body and very well hidden. Let's start with its hands. Contained in each hand is the same beam energy emitter from the HAO Gundam, only now it is much more versatile and able to be used not only to make the cloth and shoot energy shots, but to enhance ultimate techniques. Staying in the same area but moving forward to the forearms, we come to the Near Crusher, which is a piston-driven extension mechanism that enhances the kinetic force of each punch and allows the Master Gundam to land multiple strikes without moving the rest of its arm. Now the forearm's connected to the upper arm, and that's where we find the Distant Crusher. But much like the Near Crusher, this weapon enhances the melee ability of the suit, but this time it is accomplished by literally launching the forearm and hand from the upper arm and controlling the flying fist with a wire-guided system. Last but certainly not least, we have the Master Cloth. And now if you've never seen G Gundam, you're probably thinking, alright dude, a cloth? Really? A cloth is a weapon used by a giant robot. And all I have to say is you bet your sweet ass it is. Through his incredible technical skill, Master Asia is able to make this beam cloth a spectacularly versatile weapon that can take on many forms and be used for many tasks, like slicing, stopping attacks, and grabbing opponents. Truly an efficient and elegantly incorporated set of weapons, but the fun is only just beginning. because now we are going to discuss the only piece of special equipment for the Master Gundam, Funsaiki. This highly awesome piece of equipment was the first prize for winning the 12th Gundam Fight Tournament and is piloted by Funsaiki, using his own mobile trace system. This machine can transform into a platform mode and a horse mode. Funsaiki is eventually passed on to another member of this list, but as far as I see it, Funsaiki only belongs to Master Asia. All told, this mech is insane, and based on what was shown in the anime, as long as Master Asia is in this mobile suit and healthy, absolutely nothing was able to defeat him. Anyone would be hard-pressed to find a more manly and badass suit that fits its pilot so well. Big shout out to Hajime Katoki, who designed this immaculate destruction machine and many other awesome mechs in this series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this top 10, make sure you go like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And if you think I'm an idiot, you think my top 10's wrong, you got your own top 10, let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with you. So, with that said, that's all. Everything's good to go. Big shout out to the Patreon subscribers, all the people that support us on Twitch and YouTube. We love you all to death. Thank you again, and remember, dreams are things you can grasp with your own two hands.